The silent strike. In the darkness between stars, death moved silently. The Nexian warships, their obsidian hulls absorbing both light and sensor readings, approached Earth's outermost mining colony on Titan. Their new phase shift technology rendered them virtually invisible to conventional detection methods, a fact they had proven repeatedly across 3 star systems in the past month. Fleet Commander Ventol watched the tactical display with 4 of his 8 eyes, while the others monitored various ship systems. His chitinous face remained impassive as the colony's lights twinkled below, unaware of the impending devastation. Humans had proven themselves troublesome upstarts in recent years, expanding rapidly and developing technologies that threatened Nexian superiority. This operation would remind them of their place in the galactic hierarchy. Strike formations in position, his second-in-command reported. No detection signatures from the human defenses. Commence the attack, Vental ordered. Standard protocol. No survivors. The first plasma torpedoes streaked toward Titan's surface, their brilliant blue trails illuminating the darkness. The colony's shields, designed to protect against micrometeorites and solar radiation, offered no resistance against military-grade weapons. Within moments, the outer dome shattered, atmosphere venting into space in a crystalline cloud. But something was wrong. Commander. His sensor officer's voice carried an edge of panic. The colony, it's empty. Before Vental could process this information, space itself seemed to tear open around his fleet. Massive ships of Earth design materialized from what appeared to be fold-spaced ruptures, an impossible technology by all known physics. They had somehow anticipated this attack, prepared for it, and now the hunters had become the hunted. Admiral Helena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the EFS Thermopylae, her dark eyes reflecting the tactical displays showing the trapped Nexian fleet. 6 months of carefully leaked intelligence, false colony evacuation schedules, and quantum beacon development had led to this moment. The Nexians had thought they were studying humanity's weaknesses. Instead, they had been revealing their own. All ships, execute Operation Lockbox, she commanded. Let's show them why you don't corner a species that turned their mining equipment into weapons of war. The battle that followed would reshape galactic politics forever. Human ships, originally designed for asteroid mining and retrofitted with military-grade weapons, demonstrated maneuverability that the sleek Nexian warships couldn't match. Their reinforced hulls, built to withstand impacts from space debris, shrugged off hits that would have crippled conventional warships. But it was the quantum beacons that proved decisive. These devices, developed after studying fragments of Nexian phase-shift technology, generated fields that forced their ships back into normal space, stripping away their greatest advantage. Without their invisibility, the Nexians found themselves facing an enemy that had spent centuries perfecting the art of resource exploitation in the harshest environment imaginable, and had turned those same tools toward warfare. The battle lasted less than an hour. When it was over, the Nexian fleet was reduced to drifting wreckage, their vaunted phase-shift technology rendered useless by human ingenuity. Admiral Rodriguez ordered rescue operations for surviving crew members, another concept foreign to Nexian military doctrine. As Vental was brought aboard the Thermopylae in restraints, he found himself facing Admiral Rodriguez directly. She studied him with an expression he couldn't read, before speaking in perfectly accented Nexian. You thought we were primitive because we still used mining ships, she said. But that's the difference between our species. You build weapons. We adapt tools. And that's why you never saw this coming. The Admiral turned to her communications officer. Send word to Fleet Command. Operation Lockbox successful. Begin Phase 2. She looked back at Vental, her expression hardening. Now, Commander, you're going to tell us about every other Nexian fleet currently attacking human space. And then you're going to learn why picking a fight with humanity was the worst mistake your empire could have made. The battle at Titan marked the beginning of humanity's counter-offensive against the Nexian Empire. But more importantly, It served as a stark reminder to the galaxy. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or technology, but their ability to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, to see possibilities where others saw limitations, and to unite in the face of existential threats. The stars had a new power rising among them, and it carried mining lasers, steel, and spite. The aftermath of the Titan victory rippled through Earth's military command like a shockwave. While Admiral Rodriguez's trap had proven devastating to one Nexian fleet, 3 more had struck simultaneously across human space. Mars's southern colonies lay in ruins. The Jupiter refining stations had gone dark. Only the Saturn defense grid still held, its massive railguns keeping the enemy at bay. In Emergency Command Center Olympus beneath the Martian surface, General Marcus Dong studied the holographic display of known Nexian positions. 20 years of military service had earned him his reputation as Earth's finest strategic mind, but even he hadn't anticipated the scope of the Nexian offensive. Their technology superiority isn't as complete as we feared, Lieutenant Sarah Foster reported, highlighting sensor data from the Titan engagement. But they're still outgunning us 3-1 in conventional weapons. Zhang nodded, his weathered face illuminated by the holo-display's blue glow. Then we stop fighting conventionally. Get me a link to the Mining Guild. The Mining Guild, traditionally separate from military operations, had become humanity's secret weapon. Their ships, designed to crack asteroids and process ore in the harshest conditions, were being rapidly retrofitted into warships. But it was their specialized equipment that offered the most promise. General, Mining Guild Council is online, Foster announced. The holographic face of Guild Master Chen appeared, her expression grim. We've already begun converting the deep-core drilling platforms into orbital defense stations, General. What else do you need? Everything, Zhang replied. Specifically, your gravity manipulators and plasma cutters. I have an idea that might even the odds. The plan that emerged was audacious. Mining ships, their hulls reinforced with ablative armor, would use their gravity manipulators to create artificial gravity wells in the midst of Nexian formations. These would disrupt their precise battle formations and force them into killing zones covered by modified plasma cutters, tools designed to slice through solid rock, now repurposed as short-range but devastating weapons. The first test of this strategy came at Europa. A Nexian battle group, pressing their advantage after destroying the Jupiter refineries, encountered what appeared to be a retreating convoy of mining vessels. Their sensors detected no military-grade weapons, only standard mining equipment. They never saw the trap until it was too late. The mining ships, acting on Zhang's orders, activated their gravity manipulators simultaneously. The carefully calculated gravitational fields created a maze of conflicting forces, sending Nexian ships tumbling out of formation. Their phase shift technology, requiring precise spatial alignment, failed under the gravitational stress. Then the plasma cutters opened up. What followed wasn't so much a battle as a slaughter. The Nexian ships, designed for long-range combat, had no defense against mining tools that could slice through their hulls at point-blank range. Their own weapons, calibrated for ship-to-ship combat, proved ineffective against vessels built to withstand the crushing pressures of gas giant mining operations. The Europa victory marked a turning point. Across human space, mining ships began operating in concert with military vessels, their specialized equipment proving more effective than conventional weapons. The Nexians, who had expected to face a primitive species armed with crude projectile weapons, instead found themselves fighting an enemy that turned industrial tools into devastating weapons of war. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a theoretical physicist working on mining sensor technology, noticed something odd in the data from captured Nexian ships. Their phase shift technology operated on principles that, while advanced, had a fundamental flaw, one that humanity's relatively primitive approach to space travel had accidentally avoided. They've optimized their entire technological base around quantum field manipulation, she explained to the combined Military Mining Guild command staff. It's elegant, advanced, and completely vulnerable to the type of brute force gravitational disruption our mining equipment generates. We don't need to match their technology. We just need to keep hitting them where they're weakest. The implications were staggering. Humanity's primitive technology, developed through centuries of harsh practical experience rather than elegant theoretical advancement, had inadvertently created the perfect counter to Nexian superiority. As the war entered its second month, General Zhang's strategy expanded. Mining ships began carrying quantum field sensors, detecting Nexian fleets before they could strike. The gravity manipulator tactics evolved, with multiple ships coordinating their fields to create dead zones where Nexian technology simply ceased to function. The Nexians, for their part, seemed unable to adapt. Their entire military doctrine was built around technological superiority. The concept of repurposing industrial equipment for military use was alien to their rigid hierarchical thinking. Each defeat seemed to paralyze their command structure, leading to increasingly desperate and predictable tactics. "They don't understand us," Zhang remarked to Foster after another successful engagement. "They see our mining ships and think we're fighting with primitive tools because we have no choice. They don't realize we're choosing to fight this way because it works." The war was far from over, but humanity had found its edge. Not in matching Nexian technology, but in turning their own technological sophistication against them. The stars echoed with the sound of mining ships turned warships, and the Nexian Empire was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology, it was their adaptability. The Mining Guild's motto, once a simple statement of professional pride, took on new meaning. "We crack rocks. Everything else is easy." The Quantum Gambit. Dr. Yuki Tanaka hadn't slept in 3 days. The holographic equations floating around her lab aboard the research station Archimedes told a story that seemed too good to be true. She rechecked her calculations for the 12th time, hands trembling from too much caffeine. "Run the simulation again," she ordered the AI assistant. Full quantum field analysis. The results remained unchanged. The Nexians' phase shift technology didn't just have a weakness, it had a fatal flaw. Their entire approach to faster-than-light travel, weapon systems, and stealth technology relied on maintaining precise quantum field alignments. It was elegant, advanced, and fundamentally vulnerable to disruption in a way that humanity's comparatively crude methods weren't. "Get me Admiral Rodriguez. Now." The connection took moments to establish. Rodriguez's face appeared, showing the strain of continuous combat operations. "This better be good, Doctor." "Better than good," Tanaka replied, sending her data package. "We can shut them down. Not just their phase shift tech, everything. Their whole technological base operates on the same principles. One targeted pulse and their ships become expensive space debris." Rodriguez's eyes widened as she reviewed the data. "How long to develop a weapon?" "That's the beauty of it," Tanaka smiled. "We already have one. Every mining ship's gravity manipulator can be modified to generate the right frequency. We just needed to know what to look for." The next 12 hours saw the largest coordination of scientific and industrial effort in human history. Mining ships across human space received emergency software updates, their gravity manipulators reprogrammed to generate precisely calibrated quantum disruption fields. The Nexians, still reeling from their defeats at Titan and Europa, had no idea what was coming. The first test came at Saturn's rings. A Nexian battle group, attempting to flank the defense grid, encountered what appeared to be a standard mining operation. When the quantum disruption fields activated, the results exceeded even Tanaka's predictions. Nexian ships didn't just lose their phase shift capability, their entire power grid collapsed. Weapons, shields, and even life support systems went dark. The battle lasted less than 10 minutes. Not a single human ship was lost. As news of the victory spread, humanity's strategy shifted from defense to offense. Mining ships, now designated as key ships, led every assault. Traditional warships followed in their wake, cleaning up the powerless Nexian vessels. The enemy's technological superiority had become their greatest weakness. But the Nexians weren't finished. Desperate to counter this new threat, they launched a massive assault on the Archimedes research station. Over 300 ships dropped out of FTL, their weapons charged to maximum power. They never expected to find Admiral Rodriguez's entire fleet waiting for them. "Activate quantum disruption fields," Rodriguez ordered. All ships, full spread. The space around the research station lit up with overlapping fields of invisible force. Nexian ships began dropping out of formation like stones, their sophisticated systems crashing under the assault. Those that managed to fire their weapons found their energy beams distorted and dispersed by the quantum interference. In the chaos that followed, something unprecedented happened. A Nexian dreadnought, its systems failing, broadcast a surrender signal. Then another, and another. For the first time in recorded history, Nexian ships were surrendering rather than fighting to the death. The captured crews revealed a truth that shocked human intelligence. The Nexian Empire had no backup plan. Their entire civilization was built around their quantum field technology. Without it, they weren't just defenseless, they were helpless. Centuries of technological refinement had left them unable to function without their advanced systems. As the war entered its final phase, humanity faced an unexpected moral dilemma. They had the power to completely destroy their enemies, to reduce the mighty Nexian Empire to a pre-industrial state with the push of a button. Instead, Admiral Rodriguez made a different choice. "We're not going to destroy them," she announced to the combined fleet. "We're going to teach them. Show them why diversity of technology, of thought, of approach matters. The galaxy's big enough for both of us, if they're willing to learn." The decision would prove pivotal in shaping the post-war galaxy. But for now, there was still a war to win. And in research labs across human space, scientists like Tanaka continued pushing the boundaries of what was possible, proving that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their ability to fight, it was their ability to understand. The stars watched as humanity's mining ships, now armed with the power to negate advanced technology, continued their advance. The age of quantum superiority was over. The age of human innovation had begun. Breaking the veil. The Nexian homeworld loomed ahead, its artificial rings glittering with defense platforms. What had once seemed an impregnable fortress now represented humanity's final objective. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the Thermopylae Bridge, watching tactical displays track thousands of Allied ships, a mix of Earth warships and converted mining vessels. The Nexian High Command still refuses to surrender, her communications officer reported. They're threatening to activate their planetary shield. Rodriguez nodded, unsurprised. They still don't understand. Dr. Tanaka. The physicist's hologram appeared on the bridge. The planetary shield uses the same quantum field principles as their ships. One synchronized pulse from our fleet will bring it down. But Admiral, there's something else you should know. Tanaka's discovery was staggering. The Nexians' planetary shield didn't just protect their world, it regulated their entire ecosystem. Generations of dependency on quantum field technology had left them unable to survive without it. A total shutdown would cause widespread devastation. "Launch the infiltration teams," Rodriguez ordered. "Precision strikes only. We're here to end this war, not commit genocide." The assault began with a new tactic. Small mining pods, originally designed for precision asteroid drilling, slipped through gaps in the Nexian defenses. Their crews, trained in both mining operations and combat, targeted key infrastructure nodes. The goal wasn't to destroy, but to surgically disable. Meanwhile, the main fleet engaged the Nexian defenders, but instead of overwhelming force, they employed a strategy that would have been impossible months ago. Carefully calibrated quantum disruption fields created safe corridors through the Nexian defenses, allowing Earth ships to penetrate deep into their territory without a single shot fired. The Nexian response was chaotic. Some ships attempted to fight, their weapons failing as they entered disruption zones. Others tried to retreat, only to find their FTL drives unresponsive. Many simply powered down, their crews recognizing the futility of resistance. On the planet's surface, the infiltration teams achieved their objectives with surgical precision. Key command centers were isolated, their quantum field generators disabled one by one. The planetary shield remained active, but its control had been severed from Nexian military command. "Send the message," Rodriguez ordered. "All frequencies, all languages." Her voice echoed across Nexian communication channels. "Your military technology has been neutralized. Your command structure is isolated, but your civilian infrastructure remains untouched. We could have destroyed everything. Instead, we chose preservation. The war is over. Let's talk about what comes next." Hours passed in tense silence. Then, from the planet's surface, a response. "We will speak." The peace negotiations revealed truths that changed both species' understanding of the galaxy. The Nexians' aggression had been driven by fear. Fear of humanity's rapid advancement, fear of their unconventional technology, fear of becoming obsolete. In their pursuit of quantum field perfection, they had sacrificed adaptability for power. What emerged wasn't just a peace treaty, but a partnership. Humanity offered to help the Nexians develop technological redundancy, to break their dependence on a single technological approach. In return, the Nexians shared their quantum field research, allowing humanity to understand and improve upon their discoveries. As the Earth fleet prepared to return home, Admiral Rodriguez received an unexpected message. The Nexian High Command requested permission to send their best scientists to study human mining operations. They had finally realized that true advancement came not from pursuing a single path to perfection, but from embracing diversity in all its forms, technological, tactical, and philosophical. The stars watched as former enemies began working together, each learning from the other's strengths. The age of conflict was ending. The age of collaboration had begun, and at mining stations throughout human space, engineers and scientists of both species worked together, proving that the best technology wasn't the most advanced, it was the most adaptable. Echoes of victory. A year after the Nexian surrender, Earth's Santiago Space Academy hosted an unprecedented gathering. In an auditorium filled with both human and Nexian students, Dr. Yuki Tanaka and former Fleet Commander Vental stood together at the podium. The greatest enemy of progress, Vental addressed the crowd, is the belief that there is only one path forward. We thought quantum field mastery made us superior. Instead, it made us vulnerable. Tanaka nodded, bringing up a holographic display of a new ship design, a hybrid of human and Nexian technology. The future lies not in choosing between our approaches, but in combining them. The mining ships that won the war are now the foundation of a new era of exploration. The prototype vessel, christened Unity, represented everything both species had learned. Its hull featured human-designed reinforcement techniques combined with Nexian quantum field generators. Mining equipment worked alongside advanced weapons systems, each complementing the other's strengths. But the ship's true innovation lay in its mission. The Unity wasn't built for war or even pure scientific research. It was designed to seek out and help civilizations at risk of following the Nexian path of overspecialization. The galaxy, they had discovered, was full of species on the verge of similar technological dead ends. Admiral Rodriguez, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the Nexian worlds, watched from the audience as former enemies discussed shared dreams. The war had cost both sides dearly, but from that conflict had emerged something unprecedented, a genuine partnership between two radically different approaches to understanding the universe. In deep space, human mining ships still patrolled alongside Nexian cruisers, their crews working together to maintain peace. But they no longer practiced only military drills. Instead, they conducted joint research, combining Earth's practical experience with Nexian theoretical knowledge. The greatest discovery of the post-war era came from this collaboration. A Nexian scientist, working with human mining experts, discovered that quantum field technology could enhance traditional mining techniques. Meanwhile, human engineers found ways to make quantum systems more robust by incorporating mechanical redundancies. As the graduation ceremony concluded, a new class of officers, human and Nexian alike, prepared to embark on their first assignments. They would serve on ships that represented not victory or defeat, but the triumph of diversity over uniformity. The stars watched as the Unity prepared for its maiden voyage. Its crew, drawn from both species, carried with them the most powerful weapon ever developed, not quantum fields or mining lasers, but the understanding that strength lies not in perfection, but in adaptation, not in superiority, but in cooperation. The age of conflict was truly over. The age of unity had begun. And in the vast expanse of space, mining ships and warships flew together, their crews united in the belief that the greatest adventures still lay ahead. The legacy of the war wasn't the victory of one species over another, but the discovery that true advancement comes not from pursuing a single path to its end, but from exploring every possible route to the future. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, that future was waiting to be mined.